the Shell Rotella road truck. Also, what we're going to do in this road truck, Dan is going to break down exactly how these lubricants and oils work, and he's going to give you guys more explanation.
The habits of my heart, I can't say no. It's ripping me apart.
We are inside of the Shell Rotella road truck. Also, what we're going to do in this road truck, Dan is going to break down exactly how these lubricants and oils work, and he's going to give you guys more explanation on it. Dan, it's all on you.
All right, thanks. Well, what I'd like to do to start out is just kind of talk a little bit about what a lubricant is supposed to do. And a lubricant really has four main functions. It's to help reduce friction and wear within the engine, to help cool the engine, to prevent corrosion, and also to help keep the engine clean. And the way we do that is through a combination of adding base oils and performance additives in order to accomplish these tasks. So starting out with a quality base oil is important to designing a good product. In fact, when you look at here, this pie chart represents about 75% of an actual engine oil is base oil. The rest of it being performance additives. Those performance additives being things like corrosion inhibitors, anti-wear components, viscosity modifiers, detergents, dispersants, other anti-wear agents, and pour point depressants. And all those are put together in order to form a premium product to protect today's really highly sensitive, highly technically advanced engines that we operate in diesel trucks. You know, I talked about the performance additives and base oil that are used to make a premium engine oil. When you take an oil, you're basically pouring it out of a bottle into your engine. You can't really see the performance that we've built into it, and the millions and millions of dollars we've spent in the development. So what we've done here is we've developed a few different tools where we can kind of demonstrate what goes on and how the engine oil actually performs inside your engine. For instance, cleaning. You know, we use detergents and dispersants. And as you can see here, the oil, one of the jobs of the oil is to disperse soot and dirt within the engine. And this oil on the right, that's what it's doing. It's dispersed it, keeping the particles small so the oil still flows. If we look at the oil on the left, the particles have agglomerated, they've gotten too big, and they inhibit the flow of the oil. A couple other things that we look at. Fuel efficiency is important. Having an oil that's got good viscosity control. And in this case, again, we have an oil lighter in viscosity, flows easier, and because it flows easier, we're able to get better fuel economy. Another area we look at is corrosion. And here are bearings from an engine. And what happens is when you burn diesel fuel, you generate acids through the combustion process. The oil's got to neutralize those acids, so making it so that they are not aggressive, because you have soft metals in the engine, like in the bearings and such, where you may have lead and stuff. And if you don't neutralize those acids, it'll start to corrode the inside of the engine. So the oil has got to do a whole bunch of things and protect against the negative effects of the combustion process. Selecting the correct viscosity for use in your application and your engine is extremely important. Viscosity is an oil's resistance to flow. So something that has a higher viscosity is thicker, a thinner viscosity, or lighter viscosity is thinner. The key is having the optimum viscosity for the application. We want an oil to flow well at cold temperatures, but be thick enough at hot temperatures to protect the bearings and rings and such from wear. We have an array of products here at different viscosity grades. We recommend that you look at your engine manufacturer's recommendations for the proper viscosity grade for your engine based on the ambient temperatures. Now there's something else with viscosity. The lighter viscosity grades flow easier. Because they flow easier, they can provide a fuel economy benefit. So we offer products like our Rotella T5 10W30 and our T5 Ultra 10W30 products. These products provide fuel economy advantages versus your standard 15W40. Viscosity is an oil's resistance to flow. And let me kind of show you a little tool that we have that kind of demonstrates what that means. What we have is 4 different viscosity grades of oil here. And what we've done is placed a steel ball bearing in each of them. And if you watch here, you can see the tube on the right, the ball falls much more rapidly than, let's say, the tube on the far left. The difference being is the tube on the right is a lighter viscosity. So in your engine, that oil flows faster than the one on your left.
I see here that we have a mechanism here. Was this mechanism put into play, or is it a demonstration for the Starship truck at all? Or is this just in general?
This isn't a demonstration necessarily for the Starship truck.
Okay.
But what we've done here is, in order to qualify an oil, you have to run some specific engine test programs. These are lab-based tests in real engines, along with what we call bench tests as well, in order to qualify your products. But what Shell does is take things a step farther. We feel the real way to demonstrate the performance and test the performance of a product is to put it out there in the field.
Okay.
So Shell does a lot of field testing. And in fact, we have over 200 trucks on test at any one time. And with the development of our latest engine oils, our API CK4 and FA4 products, we have accumulated over 100 million miles of field test experience. Now what happens is when we get done with some of these tests, we will take some of these engines and we'll take them apart. We'll measure the components in there, we'll look for wear, we'll look at how well our products are performing. And this is all part of our development program. Now, let me show you a couple examples of some of the things that we've done here. Looking at this up here, we're looking at pistons. Okay, and these pistons were part of a Mercedes test that we used during our qualification. And you can see this is a very severe test, but even after the test, we're seeing almost no wear or deposits within the piston ring area. Here again, we're looking at another one of our oils. These are the bearings. Now, these bearings are using an FA4, so a very thin or thinner oil that provides a fuel economy benefit. These bearings have over 500,000 miles on them. And they're actually in good enough shape that they could easily go back into the engine.
And the FA4, would that be the T6 or the T5 by Rotella?
So we have, right now we have a T5 10W30, T5 Ultra 10W30 that is an FA4. The Starship truck that we saw earlier, we're running our T6 Ultra 5W30, which is an FA4 as well, which is the product that we've done the development work on it, but we haven't launched it into the market yet.
Right, so the T5 Ultra is available on the market.
The T5 Ultra is available in the market, the T6 is not at this time.
Gotcha.
Again, just looking at some of the other things, this is a camshaft from a truck that we have almost 799,000 miles on it when we tore this engine down. And you can see it looks virtually new.
And that's from the lubricant that they were utilizing from the Shell Rotella.
Exactly. That is running one of our FA4 products during our test development. And then finally here, we also look at liners. And what we're looking for in the liner here is you can see this kind of cross hatching is what we call it. And what that is that's put into the liner to start with, and what that does is that helps hold the oil in place as the piston goes up and down. So what we're looking for in this test is to make sure that cross hatching is still there. If the cross hatching goes away, what you end up with is high oil consumption and poor compression within the engine. So again, even at over 600,000 miles, these liners look very, very good. What we've done here is we've just, because the Starship truck can't be everywhere, we want to tell our customers about it and the work that Shell's doing. We kind of got a little mock-up here of the truck where you and I have talked about before, some of the technologies, the operational efficiencies, the Shell technologies, the aerodynamics. We can explain and talk to our customers about all these things. You know, like here you can see the solar panel array that's across the top here. We've done the skirting and the boat tails and stuff in order to help with aerodynamics. We can talk about the tires going with the ultra-wide tires on the trailer, super singles as they're commonly called. And then talk about the low viscosity lubricants that we use in the engines, the FA4, T6 Ultra in the engine, as well as our Spyrex products and the transmissions and the axles and wheels. A lot, I think, that the consumer doesn't really know about emissions. And like for every gallon of diesel fuel that you burn, you generate 22.4 pounds of CO2
In the air.
in the air. And CO2 is a greenhouse gas.
Right.
And one of the things that we're trying to do is help reduce or control the amount of CO2 that gets released into the atmosphere. So really what it comes down to, for every gallon of diesel fuel that we can save by making things more efficient by aerodynamics, by efficiencies, by low viscosity lubricants, stuff will reduce the amount of CO2 that goes into the atmosphere.